I think the biggest thing that probably happened was we went down 2-0 and some guys got some life. So they decided, we got some life and got that spark on that first goal and got that spark on that second goal to tie it up. And then we were fortunate enough to take the lead. But I think the biggest thing is that we just went behind 2-0 and a little panic set in. But then when we got the lead again, we got back, we got comfortable again and allowed that late goal. So it was a hard weekend. Lake Superior played hard. They battled hard. They have a short lineup. They have a lot of injuries. And sometimes that's not a bad thing because it shortens your bench automatically and it allows the best, if the injuries are not to your best players, it allows your top end guys to get more ice time. And both teams are having a break right now, so they may have been able to play some guys even more to try to get that point. So the series was very similar to Lake Superior. We won the first night. And second night went to a shootout, and we were able to get the extra point. So that point hopefully will come up big down the road. I think we got dinged up a little bit tonight and in this series, so hopefully we can. Our depth now will be tested a little bit going into the GLI, and we'll see what happens with that.
Now, yesterday you guys had a 3-0 lead and held it, and then today you ended up battling back. What does it tell you about your team that you guys can still find success in a variety of different scenarios?
Yeah, our guys have been playing hard. I think this weekend was a very hard weekend to coach because we've been. I'm really proud of the way that our guys have been managing our top end guys, our leaders have been handling the team and things like that. And this weekend, it just seemed like the coach's voice was, our voices were a little bit too much. And by voice I mean just our involvement, our trying to prod to get a little bit more out of certain guys and trying to get those lines that have been playing well and stuff like that to continue to play well. It just seemed like we were having to coach too much. We were having to tell them too much, tell them exactly what we wanted them to do. The creativity was lost in a lot of ways, and so we're going to have to find that again and find that energy level again. And maybe guys were just really looking forward to getting away, to a break, and hopefully when we come back we're rested and energized.
You and I have talked a lot about kind of the growing pains that this team has gone through over this season. Do you feel like if you'd played in a game like this earlier in the year where you guys were, had to battle back and then went to a shootout, do you feel like you could have got that extra point?
I think we've been battling back on teams. Like, no one has blown us out. I just think there's, I think getting, we've continually talked about getting more guys on board. In games like this, your best players have to be your best players. I think Baltus was very good. I think Dylan Stamen is emerging as a tremendous player. Renks had that tough turnover tonight early, but I thought he was outstanding. I thought tonight Dane Burks was tremendous. But trying to find, it was really trying to find, other guys to step up. Reitmeyer seems to be growing in the right direction, things like that. But we need all hands on board. Like what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find a way to get 4 lines to be able to come at you and everybody offers something. And we've been having 2 and we've been having a little bit of 3. But if we have individuals off each line take, not completely there on the compete side of it, on the energy side of it, with their brains engaged, we're just an average hockey team. We go back to what we were in games 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I think that's where we were trying. I think this weekend's games to me were very similar to those games when we were trying to grow it and trying to find guys to step up and trying to find guys to find themselves. It felt like that. I think as a staff that. It just wasn't clicking. We were just, again, we were trying to, it seemed we had to tell them everything to do. You'd wait and see if they could figure out. It seemed like you had to tell them everything, every opening yet. And while you're on the bench, you had to tell them, okay, now look what you see, fellas. Look what, they have 5 guys stacked up on the blue line. Look what you see. The slower we play in transition, the more bodies we're going to have to go through to get towards the net. And it started. What you saw is a little jump back as guys started realizing that it's just a lot of work, and we're making more work for ourselves by trying to make the game a little easier. So we'll I think it was a little step back in overall team play, and that's what concerns me most. Or that's what, and not in a negative way, but that's what my focus is on overall team effort and getting 20 guys strong that are dressing on every given night, playing their best hockey, and their next effort, even in practice, is better than the last. And that's what our players have to do as well, and they have to want it. There's, you can't hide for games, and the comment to the team is, there's another one gone, another game in your career is gone. How do you feel about it? Do you feel good, or do you feel you played okay, or what I'm saying? It's so, life is precious, and take advantage of every moment you have.
And then 6 goals in this one and the goal in the shootout, but some good saves by both goalies. What did you see from those guys?
Yeah, I like how Robbie battled in the shootout. I think it's probably a hard game for him because I don't think we gave up a ton defensively. I don't think we created as much as we've been creating, and I thought our power play was awful tonight. I think we have too good personnel on that unit on our power plays not to be able to generate more offense than that. But I thought Robbie, when he needed to be, was like in the stretch. He made those shootout saves and things like that. But it's a hard game for a goaltender when you're not getting a lot of action and when the scoring chances are few and far between. Tonight even on the last goal, we lost a battle on the half wall. They got to the point, D to D. They had us. Our coverage was shifted, and it gave them an opening at the net. We weren't able to box out at the net, and before Robbie could cover it, a guy was right there and whacked it in. Those goals shouldn't happen. It was before their extra attacker got engaged and got into the play. That was just, I think, it exemplified the kind of the weekend. I feel fortunate to come out with 5 points. I'm proud of the guys for coming out with 5 points, 5 of 6. I think we caught Lake Superior at the right time with their injuries and things like that, and we're fortunate to do that.